Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Blight League. In this episode, Blight League ended. This is the middle area where we're in Standard right now. So today, just now, or just a little while ago, the Blight, Manifesto came out, like the balance that is what's going to be happening. They talked about it for Conquerors of the Atlas. So the only aspect of this manifesto that I feel like I am the most qualified for is right now in the current state from Blightly coming into the new metamorph / Conquerors of the Atlas. I'm most qualified for the minion side of it, and people are most curious about what will be happening to minions, but for league start, early league, and the eventual late game, the end game, the deep delving, and all that. So I'm going to go read through this manifesto with you guys and tell you guys all that info that you want to know. So, like I said, I honestly don't think I should go over the bow and ranged stuff. We're going to go over minions, and then there's extra stuff that does affect our minion build. So I'll start with just the minions, because that's the best spot to start, since that's what I want to go over. So, this nerf in the first line is just a nerf to the Convoking Wand. This doesn't affect our build. We don't use the Convoking Wand because we're a Cyclone build. We cannot use the Convoking Wand. Doesn't matter. Minion move speed increases on the passive tree, and the Necromancer, which is the Ascendancy, have been lowered. So if you go back to the game, I was looking, and so if you do movement, the only movement speed is here, right? For minions, and here, right? So they'll nerf those when I feel like the main node that you need is this right here and this. This extra damage and move speed was never really required, so I don't mind if they nerf the move speed. To be honest, it's okay. Oh, and on the Ascendancy is 30% move speed. Well, it won't be 30%. It'll be like 25, 20. So here, we'll start. That's the move speed, okay? That's the start of that. Let's go back to the thing. So that's okay. People like move speed, I know. You can get like 25 on the rings if you want to do that. Both the damage and the buff from the Feeding Frenzy support have had their values lowered, as the support was providing too much damage. Even if a player didn't want aggressive minions, the support was powerful not to use. Too powerful not to use. So basically what they're saying here is, in game, you see this right here, Feeding Frenzy. So 26% more damage is too much. And then the 25% chance, because it said both values, or does it mean something about the Feeding Frenzy? It's probably the chance. But either way, so they're nerfing that too. Okay, more stuff on. Okay, let's keep going. They also said raised zombies had too much damage and life for a small investment. They've been lowered in power slightly in several ways. Are you ready? Lower base damage. Wait, just straight up across the board, my zombies deal less damage. Okay, that's great. Lower area on their slam. Okay, great. No life multiplier at all, so 58% less health at level 30 raised zombies. And a longer slam cooldown. Wow. That's a lot of nerfs to my zombies. Okay, let's read what they did to Spectres. They must have killed them. I told everybody that Spectres were more OP than zombies this whole time, but we felt raised Spectre was too easy to get a third Spectre at gem level 21, especially with Necromancer's unnatural strength passive. The third Spectre is now granted at gem level 25, giving a more challenging threshold for characters to strive for. Yeah, so what this says is basically classes who, here, I'll scroll up so you can read it because I was blocking it. Characters that are not going Necromancer are going to struggle now to get the level 25 gem unless they use something to increase the level, because a +3 helmet with a level 21 gem is only going to make it 24, so you would need an additional Empower or something. It becomes very expensive to invest into if you're not the Necromancer. If you're a Necromancer, you could go a +2 helmet, which is a Baron, with a 21 gem in the helmet, +2 from the Necromancer. You have a 25 helmet gem, and it's really easy. That does seem really easy to me. Or technically an Empower 3 with it anywhere, that you don't even need a Baron helmet or the +2 helmet in this case. But the point is, they nerf Spectres by this little. So Spectres are great. They didn't touch Skeletons. They didn't touch SRS. They didn't touch anything else, dude. Just zombies. Just my zombies, dude. Wow. I think they were broken. Okay, next. This doesn't matter. This part, I want to point out one section. This is the best line in the entire area, okay? So basically, we're updating monster armor growth to be something that noticeably impacts physical damage characters when fighting highly armored monsters. So the way it worked, they were saying, is that the monsters are going to have an armor scaling stat that actually will feel significant for physical damage dealers. Again, significant, because my zombie version was pure physical. No hatred, no EE, no elemental equilibrium. We went pure phys. We were using Shaper's Touch. We weren't using Triad Grip. So in this case, it makes in the next league look promising to go Triad Grip, drop the Shaper's Touch, go Triad Grip for the extra, convert it into like Chaos, because we're noticing that monsters' resistances are only going to be, even bosses, 30% Chaos res. Up from 25, where their Ellie res is 50, and the Fizz res could be ridiculous. We have no idea what kind of physical armor some of these insane bosses could have, you know? So what we do know is 30% Chaos res is significant, like very low. So really, like, look at this, 50, 30. So basically we're dealing 70% against things with Chaos and 50 with Ellie. So it's 20%, and 20% of 50 is like 40% more. So it's quite a bit. It's quite a bit more damage by going Chaos. We give up our own survivability of the Shaper's Touch Spirit Offering thingy to give our zombies damage and to bypass an entire new mechanic that they brought out into the game if we go try a Grip White maybe. For builds that are most affected by this change, we'll be adding a new stat. This was also interesting. So people were questioning, will you be able to get this stat for zombies, or are zombies and all minion builds just fucked? So we'll be adding a new stat you can invest in that lets hits bypass an amount of physical damage reduction on enemies. This stat is enemies have -X% to total physical damage reduction against your hits. This can't reduce physical damage reduction below 0%, unlike resistance penetration stats. This will be found on various weapon notables on the passive tree, as well as few smaller clusters and new influence modifiers. So basically, this is interesting. Like, armor is going to be significant. I wonder if this is going to change the way that ours works too, but I don't think so. And then it talks about Impale, which Impale is actually significant because there's an Impale champion build, and I believe that you could probably adapt it to doing some Impale champion with like Herald of Agony Impale. Herald of Agony like works really well, I think, with Impale, and so we could probably make a build there. I really would probably want to do that if this ends up making... So, Impale is significantly affected by the higher armor values because of how its damage is dealt in many small hits. Impale isn't directly affected by your modifier, so it doesn't benefit from the stat mentioned above. Instead, some Impale passives and the Impale support will cause Impales applied to give monsters -X% to total physical damage reduction against impale. This effect doesn't stack for each impale applied. These bonuses will usually have higher values than the generic hit reduction found on the tree. So basically what it's saying is you may be hitting less, but this shit's just going to have innate armor reduction, basically, but it won't be doing... the way this armor reduction works is that you're not going to be doing more than 0 armor. So you can reduce their armor to 0, but that's it. You're not going to be getting the bonus like penetration, so there's a limit. They limited you in this way, so it's a very nice build. It seems like it's gonna work. There's hopes for impale version of minions, to be honest. We could go to like Dread Banner. I don't know. Yeah, there's interesting ways. And then they mentioned that they nerfed, where was it? Leveling. Yeah, they nerfed a bunch of leveling skills. And now, to loop this all back around, okay? I know you guys are wondering, wow, they nerfed our zombies, the main core. The absolute main thing. That did everything. Okay, you want me to sum this up for you? I look at this and they said too much damage, too much life, lower base damage, lower Arion slam, no life multiplier, and no longer slam cooldown. Okay, so what I read is level 1, it's the same, or it's going to be similar, right? The skill tree isn't mentioned at all, except for move speed, which doesn't matter. Okay, the next thing is then in through levels, sure, they'll have a little bit less life, but as long as we go Necromancer, we're very close to the minion nodes that we need to get to make them survive. We're not going to go another class. We're going to go Witch and Necro, so that's fine, right? The beginning should be fine. This is going to affect us later. This is equivalent to like minion life support on the thing. This was a huge, that's another link, basically, another gem. That's a huge loss, 58% less life, which means it almost is like we shouldn't even level the gem as much, and the base damage is lower too, so leveling the gem is just way worse. Which means maybe we'll just get more by like not using an empower, and we just put in like minion life. Like once we get all the numbers, we're able to use POB, and maybe we'll see that, oh, maybe empower's not as good anymore, and then we'll just put in the minion life, or maybe we like use a triad grip for green so that we convert our minions to full cold damage, so that we could use the elemental army support to raise the elemental resistances of our minion up, because they're going to have less life. Maybe we can get the minion life too, like I said. Maybe we'll have new mods. We don't know anything yet. We have no idea. We just know that we've been nerfed. This is where we are. Is it playable? For sure. We're fine, guys. This is fine. You know what's even crazier? So there's 2 that I really like for leveling. There's a third one you can use. First one, Summon Raging Spirit is the first one after zombies that you get. And then the next one that I like is skeletons. They're not nerfed or mentioned here. We're fine. We're fine. Minions are fine. Enjoy the next league. This is going to be great. We just do everything we're going to be doing. Zombies top end game is going to be nerfed. It's going to feel way worse. Oh, there's one more big one. I forgot to mention this. I'm so sorry. Wait, holy. Where is it? Okay. Okay, so right here, some modifiers no longer appear on Shaper or Elder items, like the increased physical damage and socketed gems are supported by modifiers on two-handed weapons. Oh no, what does that mean? Well, in game we have, you see this weapon? It's a two-handed weapon, and it says socketed gems are supported by level 20 Maim. So it's two-handed weapon. Socketed gems are supported by two level 20 Maim. Oh no, we don't have the level 20 Maim anymore either. Don't worry. I'm sure we'll have some new thing. Also here you can read multi-mod change to 3 mods, which includes itself. So there's only really 2 mods, and so actually it's only +1. So you know how the old one, technically if you had 1 mod and you multi-mod, there's 2 mods, and then you craft 4 mods, right? And that fills it out. In this case, you have whatever mods, and then you craft this, and you craft 2 more. And so your base could have 3 mods. And so now we'll be doing an alteration into Regal into the multi-modding. We'll have to do 3 mods. It'll be way tougher than but we'll have some crazy items, honestly. It might be better. And we could do it maybe through fossils and through annuls and like a bunch of options. Maybe we could do it through essences. There's a lot of options for how we could go about doing this this new multi-modding. I think it's a lot of people want to complain and say because obviously it is worse. It's lower power. It probably should cost less. It probably shouldn't be 2x anymore. This should probably be 1, but it's fine. This is still cool. We still have potential. There's obviously ways to get around this and to work around it. And if this is how it's going to be, you know, what's the point in complaining? Let's just adapt and move on and just try to work with what we have here. So I also thought down here I want to just give an honorable mention to this last thing. I kind of have it cut off, but basically fortifying the buff from Unshattered Will now give less damage taken rather than reduced damage taken, preventing cases where player... I like how they just added this one at the bottom, okay? So there's a jug build that the Dan guy's using to get to 2k delve every time on like hardcore characters, and he's reaching nearly 100% reduced damage taken. Yeah. Very nice. I like how, yep, nice honorable mention at the bottom here. Got destroyed. Rip build. One of the top jug builds. Like your build, dude. A lot of people used it. Wow. Rest in pepperoni. That's just like a mortal call. Another immunity gone. Rip. Oh man. Goddamn. They really. But yeah, the bow stuff. If you wanted a quick summary of it, basically, it looks like they're killing the meta. They said, hey, we don't want your deck stack and we don't want your cold damage stacking cold thing. They're just trying to make it different than what it was this league, the last league, and the one before that. They just want you to do new bow stuff. They made new bow stuff strong. Enjoy the new league. It's going to be some new bow stuff. Enjoy. If you want to be strong right away, bows are probably a safe way to do it. We could probably, honestly, do a Scion bow with the Necromancer Ascendancy just for the extra Mistress effect. For the survivability, but probably go minions either way. We could go some bow minions, Herald of Agony to augment some damage too early if we need. We could use skeletons. We could use a bunch of stuff. As I said all the time, in the beginning I mostly just go for high link items, and then I use high good gem links, and I go for my minion builds. And that's what we're going to do, and it's going to probably still feel pretty good since nothing was nerfed really except for the zombies. It's unfortunate for my zombie build, but we have already looked at alternatives. So the top end, we were able to reach like the 3 million Shaper DPS from our zombies pretty consistently with very little investment. And I was pushing the damage just to check it out, and we were easily able to push it to twice as high with just the skill tree. And so I'm like, even with some nerfs, I feel like we can get the damage high enough to where it'll still feel good. It's survivability aspect that I'm worried about. but maybe with some new stuff we'll be able to get there. But either way, this was the Conquerors of the Atlas Manifesto. Tomorrow we'll have the patch notes where we'll actually be able to hopefully have the POB, be able to crunch the numbers, be able to really go and like start to work on the league starter and all the plans and really like give you what you guys want for this. Hope you guys have enjoyed. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon and YouTube members who financially support the channel. As I remember how to do this, give me a second here. That's the first step, and then the next one is getting rid of PoE. There we go. So my Patreon and YouTube members are White Wolf, Trident X, Hannes, Steven, Last Fables, Garbar, Trident X, White Wolf, Arcbone, Kerbed, John, Lelouch, Lamperu, Dawood, Dubu. Thank you guys for all the support. I hope you guys did enjoy the the manifesto, and hopefully it is as I say it is, and I hope I'm right. It feels right. It's definitely huge nerfs. It's definitely huge, but I think we're still good in the beginning, and we should be okay. And I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!